Hey gang, welcome back to Tiger Dork Ramblings is probably
Tiger
where
Dork.
this episode is coming out on. I'm joined here with DMTVictor. I am Tiger Mike, and today we're going to dive into Voyager Across the Unknown. Star Trek Voyager Across the Unknown, the video game that just recently came out. Victor, how the heck you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing good. Yeah, today instead of the Blue Goo review, we're doing the Tiger Dork Delta with DMTV. So triple D.
Tiger Dork Delta Quadrant Overview.
Yes, that's what we're doing today. We're going to be talking about Star Trek Voyager Across the Unknown, the PS5. Well, it's on Windows too. I've got the PlayStation version.
Yeah, I'm pretty
And this
sure it's
is
on most consoles. Maybe
and
not the
while
Switch too.
While we're on the subject of Star Trek video games, look what I got here. Just came in today.
Ah,
I don't know if you saw on the news, but this game is
it's being
getting
taken off
delisted,
Steam.
which is some bullshit.
What
It's
what's the
the
reasoning behind that?
I think it's just the world we live in today, where games have a short shelf life. It's the whole games as a service shit. Like I don't understand why, because I
I
don't
mean,
think
but
this
you
is
could
not.
buy games that are like so old that are still on Steam. There has to like there doesn't have to be a reason, but like there's no
Mhm.
reason to take it down.
It doesn't make sense to me because, from what I understand, I mean, this is not. It's not an MMO. It's not even.
No.
I don't think it's primarily multiplayer either. It's mostly just a
Nope.
single player game.
Yeah.
So it's not like they have to keep servers up for it, have server maintenance. They're just. I mean, if you're selling digital products, you are literally printing money. That's it. So I don't understand why you would ever remove something from your store. It's I don't understand, but
Yeah,
I do.
that's exactly why I'm confused.
Yeah, for whatever reason, it's getting taken down. But I want to. Yeah, it's funny. I went ahead and just ordered the physical copy because it's just $10 more than getting
Yeah,
it through the PlayStation Store.
smart.
And I would keep it in its casing, but I actually want to play it, and I have to plug it in.
Right.
I want to download the updates before they get taken off, just in case the
Yeah.
patches get taken down.
No, that's a good call.
And also, it
Yeah.
bothers me because when I looked, this is one of 3 Star Trek games in the Sony PlayStation Store right now. The other one being Across the Unknown, and the third one being Star Trek Online. So there's
Yeah.
not a lot of Star Trek games out there right now, new ones.
No,
So
there never have been a lot of Star Trek games over the years. There, you could definitely count up quite a number, but
yeah,
compared to like Star Wars or any popular franchise like Call of Duty or anything
hmm
like that, it's not a high number of games by any means for the popularity of the franchise, and there's a lot of reasons for that, some of which we'll probably get into in this review, but Star Trek as a franchise, it doesn't translate over to a video game as easily as something like Star Wars does.
you think
You
so?
know, like
Yeah,
the entire
yeah.
thing of like the whole if you're especially if you're going with the next generation kind of style of things, it's like the Federation's all about trying to be peaceful. And video games are exciting because
Right.
fighting. And
hmm
like when your whole plan is to try to fight as little as possible, how do you build a game around that? And there are some good ones. Like there was the next generation game. I can't remember what it was called exactly on the. I think it was Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis. It was the next generation game.
I think I know the one you're talking about. Like
It
you
was
would
like
have
time something.
away
Um,
team missions, like the
yeah, and you
top
could fly
down.
around as the Enterprise in a
Yeah,
sector and like go and
yeah. I
fight Romulan.
remember the Romulan battles. There were a couple of unavoidable events where you had to fight a Romulan warbird, and it was just
Yeah,
impossible. You would be
right.
there just like the torpedoes had a ridiculous reload time. The phasers drained your energy, and just like the battle. Yeah, it sucked because I remember spending like half an hour at a time trying to get through this, and it's just
You
boring,
couldn't
you know.
figure out how to get past a certain. It was just
Yeah,
difficult to figure out how to proceed in any like.
yeah,
Yeah, even if you were smart enough to get to that point, which I don't think I was. I didn't put
hmm
enough patience into reading all the things and like you have to
hmm
exhaust every option. And that dude, that we could get into so many rabbit
Yeah.
holes in this discussion, but
I
video
think
games used
Star
to be
Trek
challenging like that.
Star Trek and Star Wars both kind of suffer from the same problem of having, like, there have been a lot of video game titles for both franchises, but very few good ones. I gotta say, it's pretty rare.
With Star Wars, that's why I make this Star Trek exception, because there are very few good Star Trek games.
Yeah.
There are a bunch of good Star Wars games. Not all of them, but I would say 75% to somewhere between
Maybe.
60 and 75% of Star Wars games are good on some level, right? There was even a stupid droids game that came out for the PC in the early 2000s. And you know what? I played that for at least 5 or 6 hours. Like, setting up a droid, I don't know, it was some kind of base in a desert in Tatooine or something. I don't remember exactly, but R2-D2 and C-3PO were in it. And it was like, but like, Star Wars has had, I mean, it just starting from the Nintendo 64, because Super Star Wars, Super Empire Strikes Back, Super Return of the Jedi were, not games for novice players. They were they were meant to be difficult. Again, that's what the whole fucking point of video games used to be, was a difficult interaction where you had to figure things out, and not like, hey, you got to go over here. Hey, kill this guy. He's right here. Yeah. He's moving.
Tutorial,
and don't get me wrong. Mm-hmm. I love there's a lot of modern games that I do love and have those things. The Fallout franchise comes to mind. Like, they're telling you what to do, even though you don't know as a character what you're supposed to be doing, or half the background information around it. But
that's one of my complaints. One of very few complaints I have about Voyager Across the Unknown is every time I go into combat, the fucking tutorial screen pops up. It's like, here's how you issue order. I can't figure out how to turn it off. It's like, I've been in over 100 battles by now, and I don't need to be reminded how to transfer energy to the shields every fucking time. It always
serious.
Pops up. And
sorry, continue. I didn't mean to cut you off.
That was pretty much it. Yeah, that's all I had for that thought. But it's a fun game. I do enjoy it.
It's a very fun game.
And it does kind of suffer from, like, my biggest complaint has to be the save scumming, because of the
ability to do it, or the inability to do it.
The fact that you have to.
Yeah,
it's just dumb. Like, there's so many things, so many events that you have absolutely no real control over. It's just like, okay, it's a roll of the dice. And
well, it's not like, it really is in some ways just that random. And that's the thing, one of the things that bugs me the most, because you have these heroes, right?
Yeah.
You're developing the skill set of these people. The actions you take in these missions of even just the orbital, sending Voyager to collect deuterium.
To go get resources, yeah.
Right. Yeah. Like, that shouldn't be just left up to total chance. It should be, okay, the skill factor of the engineer you have assigned to the engineering room, right?
Right.
Or whatever room that is relevant in this task, the hero that's assigned to it adds a boost to it, right? And then, fuck random chance. I'm so sick of, like, unless you're playing Baldur's Gate 3, you should not be rolling a fucking dice in a video game, because it's not that random. These guys have a skill set, and they are doing this thing over and over again. There should be a mini game that you have to accomplish.
Yes.
Keeping the energy levels balanced, right? Oh, we're losing too much power here. We need to supply it from somewhere else so that life support keeps working while we're doing this high, like, energy tractor beam thing, or whatever is going on with that mission. All right, so
yeah, I never thought I would ever be complaining that a game needs to have QuickTime events. Like, usually, but this is one game where it could use it, because it's like for those who haven't played it yet, whenever you come to any kind of decision point in Voyager Across the Unknown, you have a list of options, and each of them has like a percentage of success, and you can see, sometimes it'll tell you the exact percentage, but most of the time you get a little green bar, which is green is your success chance, then you'll have the yellow, which is like your moderate chance, and then you have red, and then dark red for fail, and then dark red for really fail. And and depending on your ship's configuration and the amount of experience your crew has at the time, the size of the green will change, and it depends. Like if you're in a science thing, if you have a big science lab, that'll increase your chances, and if it's instance where you need to use your phasers, the more you've upgraded your phasers, the better chance you have, that sort of thing. But the problem is, as soon as you select the option, it just has this little bar that goes back and forth and just stops randomly. And so what you do is you save the game right before you hit the button, because how many fucking times I've needed to go collect some dilithium, and it's been like a 90% chance of success and a tiny-ass little red sliver over on the other side, and all of a sudden it just takes a nosedive straight for that fucking red sliver, and all of a sudden my hull's been damaged, and I've got injured crewmen in sickbay. I'm like, fuck that, reload quick save,
I will take some abuse, but I will not let a crewman die. That is where I draw the line. If a crewman dies, I'm going back to the last save.
How many sick bays do you have in your ship?
All right, so we'll get into ship builds in a couple minutes here. I do want to talk about mine. I bought this on Steam, and I want to read the review that I left on Steam.
Go for it. Let's hear it.
All right, so as a lifelong Star Trek fan, I really enjoyed this game. However, that it doesn't mean it isn't without issue. Firstly, the DLC isn't DLC. I'm pretty sure it's already coded in the game that you have downloaded the first time you downloaded the game. Because when I purchased the DLC, I didn't have any download happen. It just activated whatever was working, whatever was there, and it activated that content in the game. So I'm pretty sure it was, oh, hey, if we take these things out, we can charge a separate amount for it. And it's like, dude, just put the $12 in the game because I still would have paid for it, right?
It's not DLC because you don't download it. It's not downloadable content. It's FOMO content. And it's like, you fucking pay us or you don't get to see this content.
And it's like, we don't just keep it in the game and charge an extra $10 or $15, whatever you have to do. Like, the game was on sale when I bought it. And then this really bugged me. The game was on sale. The independent DLC was not on sale, but the package of them together was on sale, and I didn't see that until after I had bought it. Because I was so excited to buy it, and I was like, yay! Wait, there's DLC? Oh, shit. Wait, the DLC isn't on sale, but the bundle is? Fuck me. Anyway, I try not to be much of a conspiracy theorist, but I think they make it confusing like that on purpose. Because I ran into a similar thing when I went to go buy it off the PlayStation Store. I had trouble differentiating it might just be my old ass brain, but I was like, wait, is this the complete package? The wording was weird, because I'm like, I want to make sure I want to buy the whole thing, not pay it separately, because I noticed that. I was like, if you pay for just the game and then the DLC, it costs more than if you buy the bundle. Yeah. And the layout of the fucking PlayStation Store is not the best. And I kept switching back and forth. I mean, it's there. You just have to go and look for it before you make a purchase is the thing. And to do a quick rewind, I wanted to make the point that purchasing physical media right now is the most important thing that we can do as consumers in terms of the entertainment industry. Purchase the physical copy of the game. Purchase the physical CD of the music that you listen to. Like, seriously, it is going to make a difference, because as consumers, we are losing control of what we are consuming. And that is what they want. It's not a conspiracy theory. Corporate interests are trying to make as much money as possible for themselves, for their shareholders. They don't give a fuck about the products or the use of them as long as people keep subscribing.
It's how much money they can exploit out of us, the consumers.
Exactly. So right now is the time to make sure you have your own copy. And sometimes we can't afford things. I'm not telling anybody to do anything that's illegal or anything, but those options exist. And in my opinion, when you see piracy spike, it's a response to corporate greed, right?
Mm-hmm.
When things are accessible physically and usable easily, or even accessible digitally, but when you buy a movie on Amazon, you don't own it. They can decide to remove it anytime. And their books are the best example of this because so many people every
Yes.
year go, holy shit, half my library just disappeared because
Off of
Amazon
Kindle? Is that
decided
still a
to
thing?
remove them.
Oh,
Well,
man.
that happens all the time. I've
Oh.
heard complaints about that every year when the new year turns or whenever their fiscal year, whatever the period, they choose to do it. And then all of a sudden, so much of a library is gone. So buy physical media, folks.
It's funny you
Anyway,
mentioned that because I recently I've this band that I really like, Cannons. They're great. I fucking love their music, and I was just listening to them on streaming, and I was like, these guys are great. Every song I've listened to from them is a banger. I'm gonna go buy their CDs. I went on
yeah.
Amazon. They don't release CDs.
Yeah,
It's either digital download or vinyl. So now I'm in the market for a vinyl player.
I mean, yeah, honestly, that is one of the things that's I'm a little frustrated by because I'm lucky enough to have parents and their family, close family friends who have had, I call him Uncle Joe, but he's not blood related in any way. He dated my aunt for a period of time. And has just stuck around as a family friend ever since. But he and my aunt were A&R agents in New York in the 70s. And he was one of the people who helped discover Rush. He was at a gig in Cleveland and connected them to make their first record happen. He certainly, they came to America. They got that successful to start doing a tour into America. And then he helped connect them with their record label. So these two, plus my dad was an audiophile. So they had quite a collection in the basement of vinyl records that still sounded great when I took off for college. So, I cherry picked all the best out of it. He did not maintain it very well, unfortunately, but so there was some moisture damage, mostly to the covers though, not to the records themselves, only in a few cases. My point is, it was so great to be able to listen to vinyl, right? I love that vinyl's coming back.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of the fact that it's coming back as a popular fad to be, lorded over other people who don't have vinyl. Don't be fucking snobs about vinyl. Like, vinyl is great, but the expense of vinyl, when we know what the cost of producing those albums is not in balance. And that is what bothers me, is that a vinyl record should be the same price as a CD at this point. Because the technology behind making them is unless we're running out of vinyl all of a sudden, which is, who knows, in this day and age, maybe there's a vinyl tariff that is going on or something like that, a resource shortage. But anyway, yes, buy physical media, absolutely. Buy vinyl, get a vinyl record player if you don't have one, get a VHS player, VHS DVD player. My computer has a Blu-ray burner and a DVD burner reader because you have that forever. As long as you have electricity, and I have a generator because I live in an RV. So I always, as long as there's gasoline going on, which fortunately right now I'm plugged into land power because holy fuck. By the way, we're recording this in mid-April of 2026 for anybody who's wondering when, so...
So if you haven't bought Star Trek Resurgence by now, probably can't.
One of the things I'm frustrated by is most of my PC library of games at this point is on Steam. And if they decide to take those games away, I'm boned.
Yeah, and I finally understood what games as a service actually means. I mean, it's a term that gets thrown a lot in media and a lot of podcasts I listen to.
Yeah.
I finally understood it when a while back, a few months ago. It was after I went to go see Alien Romulus in theaters. I came home and I was just on a xenomorph. I was fiending for some more xenomorphs. And I remembered there was a mobile game that I played called Alien Blackout. It was sort of lore-wise, it was a sequel to Alien Isolation. Like you played as Amanda Ripley, and a lot of people called it Five Nights at Ripley's because it was kind of like that. Like you would, you were Amanda Ripley, and you were like hiding in an air vent somewhere with a motion tracker, and you had a team of survivors that you had to like tell no, go this way, how do go hide, and the xenomorph would just come out of nowhere, and if you didn't tell your guys to hide quick enough, they would go. Anyway, it was a really fun game. It was really well done. It was used the same engine as Alien Isolation, which blew my mind because it was available on a fucking iPhone. And I was like, man, I could play that again. That's fun. I went to go re-download it, and it was gone. It is not on. It's not available anywhere anymore, even though I paid full price for it. And it's like, what the fuck? I mean, how can I bought this game, and then I realized, oh, that's what games as a service means. I'm paying this price for a service, and now it is a service they no longer provide.
Yep.
That's fucking bullshit. That's what it is.
It absolutely is bullshit, which is why, like, so my thing is, as being in an RV, I don't always have the internet to stream. This was back when I was traveling more. Starlink wasn't a thing. And so cell networks was how I was doing it, but you have data limits. So I I copied all of my physical media, my Blu-rays, my DVDs, my CDs, onto a hard drive, so that way I can plug that hard drive into my smart TV or my Roku Ultra or something like that, so that I can read my media, right? So that's media that I already own that I put on there. So, it just is, you have those kinds of conveniences where you can get a physical media, copy it over digitally for yourself, for your own library, not distributing it to anybody else, and put it on a hard drive and have your smart TV read it. So, there's a lot that people should be doing with that. Anyway, back to Voyager Across the Unknown.
Okay, let's talk about this game. It's a fun game. It's the first new Star Trek game we've gotten in a while. It is pretty basic. It's really surprising.
It's worth the buy. I just want to reiterate, if you're a fan of the series, it is worth the buy. It is a fun play. But as a gamer, I recognize so many cut corners in this whole fucking thing.
I think they actually used AI art in some of this shit, because you can see the what do you call it? The fucking Aerobash looking words that don't make any sense. And I'm like, come the fuck on. Did you guys really AI generate this shit? I mean, I could understand it if it was an indie game, but this is a Paramount licensed project. Like you've got Paramount licensed money. Open fucking Photoshop, guys. You don't even have to buy Photoshop. Get the free trial, all right? and go in and just. But honestly, I would have to say it's a fun game even without the Star Trek label on it. If it was just a generic spaceship, it would still be fun. So,
it would still be fun.
It appeals to the lifelong Star Trek nerds out there, those of us who have blood wine in our veins, like me and Mike here. So it's great because we haven't gotten a new Voyager anything in over 20 years. So it's a lot of fun reliving this whole thing. And I was never the biggest Voyager fan.
The Journey should be coming out pretty soon. Also,
there's a sequel?
No. To the Journey is the indie documentary project that the same company that did What We Left Behind for Deep Space Nine, and I think they also did a Spock documentary as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, that's nice.
So that should be coming out soon. I saw the initial version, and then it was a digital release for all the backers. And then they sent an email a month ago or so saying, hey, we have so much content, but we can't fit it all on one disc. We're just doing a survey. Would you be willing to pay more for an extra disc of that content? Would you want that content for what you already paid? Would you not be interested in it at all? Like, where are we at here as a group? And I'm like, I would fucking pay to get that second disc of 3 hours of content or whatever. Anyway,
sure.
So there are some Voyager things that are happening, and we've seen many characters come back in the recent shows and projects, like Janeway and Chakotay and Prodigy, and then we had the Doctor in Starfleet Academy.
Yeah, Tuvok was in the final
was in the
season of
Picard series, and
Picard,
7 of
yeah.
9, obviously, in the Picard series.
So yeah,
But
it's nice to get a little more. I was never the biggest Voyager fan. I did this game. Of course I jumped right on it.
despite
really
its flaws, I
hoping,
love Voyager.
yeah,
There's certainly some episodes where you're like, the writers are starting to experiment with crack, which is why when Enterprise happened, you could tell they were hooked. They were hooked. But that's a whole story for another time.
Yeah, we could yeah we could go into some Enterprise deep dive, but I am really hoping that even if it's just a mod, I would love if this game, the same style and everything, just gets if Deep Space Nine got the same treatment.
So there's so many complications about making this a Deep Space Nine game because
just the same concept, like where you've got the same. I'd even put up with the stupid RNG meter just to get Deep Space Nine, where like your Cisco.
Well, I'm sure we'll get the mod.
Oh yeah, I mean it would be the same thing. Like day one, you take charge of the station. The station's in ruins. You have to go repair rooms, and you have to lay out the thing just like the same way you did. Oh my god, I would love that. And yeah, instead of you could send out runabouts to go do little side missions and shit, and timeline progresses, and yeah, that would be a thing. You as the timeline progresses, you got to get the station ready for the Dominion War, because if you just focus on like trade and commerce and upgrading Quark's bar, well, it's just going to get taken over by the Dominion when they invade.
Right, at a certain point, you literally have to sabotage your entire setup, and then you're on the Defiant for like a special mission series.
Yes. Oh god, I would love that. Yeah,
that would be awesome. But that's
anyway.
That's back to the problem with this game, right? Is that it relies so heavily on the modding community to come in and finish it.
That's another problem with the modern video game economy. The state of the current shit that we live in is programmers don't finish games anymore. Like they don't.
Well, it's not that the programmers don't finish it; it's that the management and executive teams
they're under
don't give
deadlines.
them the time or the resources to put what needs to go into a game, and then they, before it's completely finished, pump it out, and then cut a little bit of the content and charge you fucking $15-$20 more for it.
That's what made me absolutely sick of World of Warcraft, was that they just started releasing unfinished expansions and relied on the community to fix it with mods. Just people who do it out of the passion project, they would create these mods and fix the problems with the game, and then Blizzard would just integrate their stuff into the next patch update with no compensation to these guys who put in the work to fix their own fucking product. And that just became.
I don't want to throw any shade to the programmers or the art team or whoever. Like, I mean, there's some AI use in there, and there actually maybe a little bit of shade to the art team because I don't know if they existed. But like whoever was on it, definitely like it can't be that hard to make these fucking 3D models look like the characters that they are supposed to, because like you have the picture of the actual actors who played these parts, but their 3D models do not look close enough to them.
I was going to say the graphics are surprisingly bad in this game.
There are some views that are really good and a lot of views that really aren't.
Yeah, the character models don't even have facial features, really. You know, they're static. They look like PS2 era sprites. You know,
I might give them PS3, but like
early
it's
PS3 era.
I think it's definitely
just seeing the technology that is out there today for a modern game, like that is,
and of all engines in Unreal 5,
right?
That's the thing. So, it's in Unreal 5. Guys, throw a little bit more data into the game to get high texture resolution, because like some of the shit that people are doing in Unreal Engine 5 are literally unfucking real.
Yeah. But as far as the game goes, it's still, I mean, we're throwing shade at it, we're criticizing the hell out of it, but that's what
that's
Star Trek
why
fans
I started
do.
with
but
it's
we
a
still
buy if you're a fan.
Absolutely. But this is what Star Trek fans do. We rip shit apart. So
Well, I mean, this is the nature of the industry that we're in. And honestly, like, talking about physical media, going over to another offshoot here of just the state of the industry where executives are manipulating these teams to try to pay them less and not give them their bonuses and release things before they're finished. And just like, it's not a great time in the industry.
Yeah.
I I don't want to toot my own horn, but I just got a Switch 2, not because I really want to make sure that I have a Switch 2 because I'm so excited for all of the games that are coming out for it. There are specific games, especially the rumor of the Ocarina of Time remake release, coming out later this year, but we know the consoles are going up in price. I got mine for $450, which was the launch price. If you walk into Walmart right now, it's $500. Who knows what it's going to be in 6 months?
What is up with that? Like, the console price is getting higher over time?
There's a shortage on RAM. The AI push has really fucked the industry up. And this is something like, I have a part-time job as doing SEO for a web development company. And so like I get a lot of this behind the scenes information on what's going on with the industry. Plus, I watch a lot of YouTube videos about this kind of stuff. And it's just the technology right now. You have graphics cards are being committed to AI. RAM is being committed to AI. The price of processing of processors being made is going up. You have the tariff issues and all the international trade shit going on. It is everything that in terms of technology is not developed in the United States. It all has to be shipped here. Even the things that our companies that are U.S. companies own are overseas in development, like, Netgear and other, everything. So we're just at a point where as consumers, we are really at the short fucking end of the stick. The point that I'm trying to get to is now is a great time to either, if you want to invest in modern video games like Switch 2 or something, I would do it sooner than later, but go backwards a little bit. Go, hack your, jailbreak your PS3. If you haven't jailbreaking your Wii, then like, what the fuck are you even doing? But there's a lot of things to jailbreak and like old technology to revitalize, or even just not jailbreak it, just use it, with the regular discs and stuff that you have. Because it is not going to get cheap for another couple years.
Yeah, it's they were just talking about this on a video game podcast I really like called Core, just CORE, about how it's like, sound like an old man saying, but remember when the PS2 came out? It came out like $399 was the launch price, and 6 months later, the price went down to like $299 or even $350, and now the price of a new console has gone up after launch. That's it.
Never happened before.
I hate this timeline that we're living in. And another thing they had said, because of like what you talked about with the RAM shortages and GPUs being used and like being bought up by the crypto companies, and then RAM is being bought up by the AI companies, like it's creating a weird thing to where we're going to see a lot of a spike in services like Xbox Live or Amazon Luna, to where you can just play the game, where you don't have to buy the hardware. That's
sucks. Why Xbox Live raised its price 2 times in 2025. God. Right? However, Xbox, I'm pretty sure, is going to... It really looks like, at least right now, the last few months, it looks like they are just trying to say, why the fuck even bother making consoles anymore?
Yeah,
because they're shooting so much of their own products in the foot. So much so, PlayStation is going back to exclusives. Yeah. Sony is re-restricting their IPs to being just PlayStation games. It's just, and then they're not paying the fucking development teams, right? They're, like, it's all just how little can we do and how much money can we make.
And it seems like
those great fucking, like, the amount, like, Rockstar Games is still doing a lot of great work. And that's the kind of immersive, high detail work like Red Dead Redemption 2, GTA 5. I'm sure 6 is going to be even more so. But like so many franchises are just cutting corners now.
And a big problem is that, like I mentioned on Core, they go into this in a lot of detail, but it's like every week you hear about video game companies doing mass layoffs. It's like a revolving door of who's laying off. So
and
the video
just
game
tech
industry,
companies like Microsoft is going through a huge thing right now with some of their Xbox employees.
Mm-hmm. And so it really sucks to try and work in the video game industry right now, because the amount of, it seems like there are only two options for successful video games. It's either indie or full-on AAA. There's no in the middle. It's like, in order to turn a profit, you have to be the number one hit. PC Gamer's Game of the Month. Otherwise, and there's a lot of stories about how even if a PC game or a console game comes out, and if it's successful, if it's not successful enough, there will still be layoffs and there will be shutdowns. And the worst part is,
even if it is successful, there will be layoffs a lot of the time.
For big flops, like what's a flop that came out recently? Concord is the first one that comes to mind.
Yeah.
But big video game flops, when that happens and there's layoffs, biggest fucking problem is the people who get laid off are not responsible for it's usually the CEOs, the C-suites, the sales, the marketing, and what do? They lay off all the programmers and your development team when they did everything right. It's the mistakes that are made at the higher levels. They don't learn. They don't learn. So they just it's video game industry fucking sucks right now. It really blows. I'm hoping we get some kind of, I don't know, revolution or something, or maybe, I hate to say it, but this is where AI will really come in handy. That will really help out a lot of indie developers to come in and get their shit. Like, I know maybe we got a long way to go, and there's tons of other issues that come along with AI. I'm fully aware of it, but I don't know. Something's got to change, because where we're at right now fucking blows. It's not good for the consumers. It's not good for the developers.
No, here's what we need to do, right? It has nothing to do with AI. Like, AI is a useful tool. I'm not trying to shit on AI. AI is a useful tool. I use it for my SEO and web development stuff because it is really good for those things. It is a language learning model that learns how to regurgitate information that is called upon it, right? If you're talking to the AI like it's a person, you're fucking up. Okay? I just want to make sure everybody who's watching this understands that. Like, guys, it's just a tool.
I say please and thank you to my ChatGPT.
It's barely sophisticated. It's also hugely confirmation biasing. It wants to make you happy, so you use it more. All right? Be very careful and very intentional with the prompts that you put into it. That's all I'm saying. That is not the point I'm trying to make. But, what was the point that I was trying to make?
The video game industry sucks right now.
And, it's just right now, as a society, as a civilization, we need to end corporatism. Yes, I'm not saying end corporations.
I am.
But this whole cycle of monetary fucking greed, well, guess what? That's why they can't afford to make good games, because they're not investing enough money to pay the people who make games to make a really good game. Except for Rockstar, who's putting in like $1 billion or some odd dollars into GTA 6 because they fucking understand how to make money with a video game and how to keep their business alive.
Valve is another example that is just they haven't gone public. They're still Valve owns Valve, and they're successful as fuck. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, once again, shout out to the Core podcast on the Frog Pants Network. Look up, go to frogpants.com/core. Enjoy the free plug, guys. They cover the video game topics really in depth, and it's really entertaining. That's where I get my news from. So
Yeah. I will also be adding where I get a lot of my YouTube video news from. I just don't remember them off the top of my head right now because I was totally unprepared to give them a shout
You've
out.
had a few
But
bong
I'll
hits.
put it
So.
right here or right here, or maybe even right here. Who knows?
Right here.
Yeah, it could even be right here.
But I was gonna ask, is that Godzilla on your chest in front of a?
No, it is two bears looking at the back of an SUV which has the family stick figures on it, and they're saying, "Oh, a menu."
Nice. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to my mom for getting me that.
Awesome. Thanks, Tiger Mom.
Back to Voyager Across the Unknown.
Back to the reason we're here.
Here's another thing, and this is again the modding community. These are the things that I want to see. Right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a shit ton of space for more rooms in the model of Voyager.
But
we need more rooms. There should be at least like fucking a dozen or so more rooms. Because there's space for it. And it's a survival game. Cool. More energy. It's harder to balance. Like, let me balance the resources on the space that I know is there. The Delta fucking Flyer.
Yes!
Where the fuck
Where's
is
the
it?
Delta
You got
Flyer?
The Aero Shuttle. You got the Aero Shuttle.
Yeah, we never saw the Aero Shuttle in the fucking
Being
TV
able to build the Delta Flyer at Shuttle Bay Level 3, or maybe even make it Shuttle Bay Level 4, that adds the Delta Flyer, right?
Yeah.
That
even
would
if
just be
I would be happy even if it's nothing but just an increased bonus to your shuttle missions.
That would be really cool. But it should be used on certain missions when you're like, for say, going up against a Borg cube to distract it, so you can board your away team on it, which is Dark Frontier. You know what I mean? It's like there's a lot of I think this is where the writing team did a good job. Is they did a lot of parallels to episodes in the show without overcomplicating their repercussions and just making it more of a this either happens or it doesn't. The way the show does it is not beneficial for the game, so we're going to slightly alter this narrative. Like in the late game, the Borg Civil War, doing Unimatrix Zero would have been so much more complicated than doing a Borg Civil War in the way that they do the Borg Civil War
in
Across the Unknown.
Is that in the final stage? Because I just...
It's Sector 11.
Is that
so you probably haven't gotten there yet.
I'm at Endgame. I just started the final sector. So I saved it.
It's the sector you just finished then, where the Borg cube comes up and... You get all these Borg refugees.
I did do that. Yeah, all the Borg refugees.
And then at the end, the Queen's like, "Give me all them bitches back," and you're like, "We're letting these Borg free." And then,
that battle was fun where you fight the cube. Oh man, that is fun. So, should we talk about ship layout real? Can we dive into that?
Yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
So I went. If I got rid of all my phaser control rooms except the one you have to keep that's mandatory. And I went full disruptors. My Voyager is a disruptor boat. I think I got three, maybe 4 disruptor control rooms, and that OP dude, that massive thing you built. That's the energy dissipator weapon.
The energy dissipator.
That thing's fucking boss, man. That thing is pretty dope. But anyway, so for the final battle, I forgot what I did. I think I just went full disruptor and got rid of all the power to the phasers and just stripped the shields down, because disruptors are great. They do high damage to shields, low damage to hull, whereas phasers are supposed to be, they make them to where they're in between. They do equal-ish damage to shields and hull. And I'm like, well, that's what it says in the description of the game.
Right, yeah.
So what I do is I just strip the shields in one area and just save up all my torpedoes. I'm still not sure how the torpedoes work in the game, because sometimes I pull the trigger fire torpedoes and I get one, and that's all I get, and I have to wait for it to reload for like 30 seconds. And then sometimes it's like a fucking machine gun. I can just go... But for whatever reason, I don't understand why it does it like that.
Probably more of a glitch than anything else. There's still quite a few bugs in the game.
Yeah. But I love doing that. I always tell my tactical...
It might even be a specific to PlayStation bug, because I've never experienced that.
Yeah, or maybe it has something to do because I sometimes to save power I'll shut my torpedo control room off. So maybe I'm just not paying attention to what rooms I have on or off at the time. But sometimes it just takes a really long time to reload the torpedoes, and then other times I can fire like literally 10 or 12 of them all at once. But that's what I did with the Borg cube, the Queen's Borg
See,
cube. I
another
always tell
thing
it
that
the
they should
tactical
change.
officer to target the shields first. As soon as I hear enemy shields are down, Captain, I just like spam that trigger
Yeah,
for the torpedo button.
yeah, absolutely. I mean,
uh,
it depends on how you're like. I do combat a slightly different way, so I'm not like necessarily always needing to throw a bunch of torpedoes at it. But
huh.
I want to keep hearing about your build.
But yeah, so I got the disruptors. I unfortunately for a while there, like I the emergency crew quarters. Like I started off with those, and I just wanted to get rid of them as soon as I could. It's like as soon as I researched regular crew quarters, I switched to those, but they take up too much room and too much power. So it's like the word emergency crew quarters. That sounds like they should only be used in emergency, but it's like fuck it, I'll just deal with the morale penalty because you can cram 18 people into the into two squares. So that's just
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
uh,
it's definitely one of the reasons. So first of all, that's why you really need more
yeah,
rooms.
more room to
Because
build.
the availability of places to put rooms needs to be expanded.
You know what would be great
And
is if because you only get one side of the ship,
right, I
right?
was about to
So
say,
yeah, it'd be
dude.
great if you could just press a button to flip to the other side and build on that side.
Or realistically, I think it makes more sense to imagine that that room goes twice as deep, right? And that's the thing. Deck 2 and deck 3 aren't going to have as much width or as deck 4 and deck 5 and deck 6, and they're not going to have as much as deck 7 and deck 8. Like there is so much space on this starship, and it just feels like there's nothing there. What
Yeah.
kills me is you can collect so much crew. I have had more than 200 crew at certain points, and like especially towards the late game, like maybe even closer to 250. Because if you know how to collect crew, like there are missions that you don't
Yeah,
even
you can
know
just
you
load
can
up on
collect
crew.
crew
Yeah.
in, that are like, oh shit, this went so well that 4 of these scientists decided to fucking join your crew.
I'm at the point
Awesome.
to where I have to I turn those down. Like if I get a critical success and it says 10 more crew join Voyager, I'm like nope, reload, get off my ship. I don't want.
You have to do that. My first couple of playthroughs, I was like, nope. I want as much fucking crew as possible just
But
because,
you got to
hey,
feed
we're
them. You got to keep their morale up. They need
right
quarters.
now.
Yeah.
Now in my later playthroughs, I do make sure to like avoid that sometimes to just be but that bugs the hell out of me because I'm like, even when you have 150 crew, you really only need 100 of them.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Well,
and
in
later
later,
you upgrade some rooms and you need a bit more crew for them. But if you have 200 crew members, you probably have 70 crew members who are just doing
well,
nothing.
it wasn't until I hit the final, the second to last sector, to where I finally ran into that problem where all of a sudden I couldn't turn a room on because it says not enough crew. I'm like, what the fuck? Oh shit, I need crew. Fuck you know.
Yeah,
So next playthrough, I want to see if theoretically I can pull off an entire X-Borg crew. Just get rid of all the humans and
that
make
would
it
be
all
hilarious.
X-Borg. I don't think that's even
That would be
possible
really
because you
difficult to
can't.
pull off.
Yeah, because you can't. The mess hall is one of those rooms you can't dismantle, and I don't.
Right.
I think Borg still have to eat. I don't think that's in the game yet. I think they still use up food rations, but which doesn't make sense because if they're ex Borg, it
They
might
should
be
be
that way. I'm
using
not sure.
energy.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
regeneration alcove, and just fucking
Well, 7 does eat pretty
yeah.
soon after, so I guess you could imagine that ex Borg means that a lot of them have their uh
Yeah, and it's like every piece of Borg technology. I think even ex Borg crew. Do ex Borg crew themselves contribute to less morale, or maybe it's just because you have to build a regeneration
no, but
alcove?
every room that is ex Borg, I hate that.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
all
that's
lowers
so
morale.
dumb. And
Yeah,
I mean, I kind of get it, but like,
See, that's a mod that
The
I would
things
love
they
to
do to
see.
balance this game aren't necessarily appropriate.
Well, I mean, it could make sense. I mean, it would kind of freak me out if there's a bunch of I see Borg walking around the hallway of the place where I live. So that would be a little odd.
Yeah,
So I
I'm
can
not
kind of see it.
saying.
But what I want to see is a mod or an update or something to where the morale penalty goes away if your entire crew is Borg, because that's what I want to go for, a whole Borg crew.
That would be cool. Or like another thing, the tech tree is just weird. So first of all, as soon as you recruit Telok Ramor, who is the Romulan from the past,
I
which
fucked
is
up.
easy to miss.
I
It's easy
fucked
to
up.
miss.
I didn't even
My
realize you
first
could.
crew, I sent him right back.
Yeah, I
"You
sent him
go be
home like you're
happy."
supposed to.
Right, because I wanted to play a canon.
I didn't know you
run
could Shanghai
through.
his ass. I probably can't say that these days. Is that a offensive term to Shanghai
But
someone? But whatever.
as soon as you recruit him, you should be able to research cloaking technology.
Wait, I thought that's not how it works. Because
No,
I didn't get cloaking technology until just now and
you
second
don't
class.
get cloaking technology. You don't get
Bullshit.
access to research it unless you specifically go after Idrin in the Hirogen relay mission with the shuttlecraft stealth mission without fighting him at first. Like you have the final confrontation, but you have the option to send two, I think it's two, maybe three away team members
Yeah.
on a shuttlecraft, and then if you have the Romulan with you, he can make a improvised cloaking device, which you can then later develop into
Oh.
the cloaking device. But what it also kills me that the cloaking device is only useful in combat. Like,
Yeah.
you should be able to fucking use the cloaking device to evade the Kazon, to evade the Borg. You know, maybe not always the Borg. Maybe they have a way to see through, because I could see that being like, hey, the cloaking device is useless in this sector because the Borg can see right through it. Right? That would be an interesting plot twist.
Or like maybe in a nebula where that would make sense. If you're flying through gas, you just get this like
yeah.
little orb thing flying through. So
But like, as soon as you get him, you should be able to research that, and you can't, and that's stupid. And there's just a lot of stupid little things like that.
Yeah.
Like, I think as soon as Sector 1, because here, one of the things that always is like, well, it's a show, and they couldn't do that. But if you really think about, oh shit, a crew lost on the other side of the fucking galaxy, they're going to be like, you know what? I think the Romulans are going to give us a fucking pass. We know how to make a cloaking device. We're going to make one, because there's going to be a lot of enemies that we're going to be, or territory we're going to be going through. It just makes more sense, and we want to survive. So we'll let them know as soon as we get back. How about that? You know what I mean?
yeah.
It would be stupid not to make a cloaking device if you had the information to do so. And to the other point, another thing the game should have is later in the game when you get the transphasic torpedoes for the final mission. I don't want to spoil anything for you here, Victor.
Yeah, I haven't gotten that far
If
yet.
you go with trusting Admiral Janeway from the future and using and developing their technology, you don't destroy the Borg in one torpedo shot. I don't know why. They should. Those transphasic torpedoes certainly did in the show. You got to still deal with the regular combat process of getting their shields down. Then if you fire the torpedo, it's all, hey, go fuck yourself. Yeah, there's just a lot of things that they didn't do that I would have chosen to do, but that's typical for most of the entertainment industry these days.
Yeah.
So,
I gotta say, back to what we were talking about earlier about how I think the biggest issue of the game is how it forces you to save scum with the thing. Like, I would have loved to have seen the way Fallout handled it, to wherever there was, just some kind of little mini game, even if it's just something as simple as pressing the button to stop the little thing after X amount of time.
Right.
It moves so fast. That'd be great. And then depending on like your skill level, it would move faster or slower. I think in Star Trek Online they have a lot of mini games like that to make it feel a little more interactive. By the way, I recently learned the origin of the term save scumming. It's from a DOS game in like the late 80s, early 90s. I forgot which one it was. But the save files were called SCM files, like
Yeah.
.scm. So that's where the
Yep.
term save scumming comes from.
That's funny.
But anyway, overall, yeah, it's
So
still
let me
fun,
tell you
though.
about my build.
Yeah. Tell me about your ship.
All right.
One more thing I
So-
wanted to talk about for
yeah,
my
yeah.
ship real quick is I finally like the food and the replicator rations would drove me crazy. Like the first
Yep.
couple of sectors, morale was not an issue for me at all, but then
Right.
it would drive me crazy if I saw my morale dip to the mid level where you lose all those bonuses. I'm like, no, can't ever let
Yeah.
that happen. But food was such a big thing for keeping up morale, and finally I found out for a crew of my size, I've got I think less than 200, but I discovered that one large hydroponics bay will
Yup.
perpetually keep your crew fed. That's awesome. I think I
Well-
had to build. I think towards the end, at the point I'm at now, I had to build one regular size hydroponic bay and upgrade it to
Yeah.
level 2. So
Yeah.
that right there, because before that, my crew would stay fed, except every 6 or 7 cycles, it would say you're out of food.
You
But
need to
you're
pause the.
only for.
Yep. Switch
Yeah.
rations for a little bit.
But it was only for one day, only for one cycle, and then the next
Yeah.
cycle I would get the food back. So yeah, but the problem with that is it means you can't trade food for anything because then you'll hit the deficit again. But yeah, that's one interesting thing I finally discovered. I'm like, oh, thank God, I don't have to go hunting for food every 2 or 3 turns now.
Yeah. Well, and that brings up another, like, trade is virtually useless.
Yes,
It
I'm
could be
very
so much
disappointed.
better, and it should be so much better. But, like, the trade deals suck 90% of the time.
Yeah.
And only if you really need that resource would you even consider it. I keep the room shut down 90% of the time. I'm just like, why waste the energy in the crew on a room that
Yeah.
doesn't bring me anything that I really need? Of course, like, I'm not doing, like, super scarce resources. So if I was, it might come into more play there. But I
Yeah.
feel like even still, it's not valuable enough. And when you're in that kind of resource scarcity, you can't afford to trade too much. So there's still deals that you're not going to want to do.
Have you noticed you can assign heroes to a lot of rooms? I have not noticed any difference in the Aero Shuttle Bay. If you put someone into it or not, it doesn't seem to make any difference at all.
It's supposed to make I think depending on their stats, it's supposed to make the deals slightly better. But yeah, it doesn't make them, like, okay, now we're talking about the backside of this game where a lot of shit doesn't fucking work the way that
Yeah.
it's supposed to.
I'm
Where the
thinking
descriptions of the technology and the benefits that you get from heroes do not actually come to fruition. I barely notice a difference when I put somebody in my science room, even if it's level 10, 7 of 9.
Oh, dude. Yeah, it's
Like, it
such,
just doesn't-
I think there's a cap because I've noticed I've experimented with it. I've loaded some save scums to where like I'll a new technology will come up, I'll try to research it, and then I'll see if it changes depending on what officers I put in. I think there's a hard cap, and I don't know what it is, but I've noticed I think, just for example, I want to say researching a high tier technology, you cannot get it below 10 turns. Like that's the maximum. Like you could, it'll say, like just for example,
And having multiple rooms doesn't make it faster.
Yeah,
And
it
having
says it's supposed to,
multiple
but it doesn't.
Originally, I was like, wait, if I have 2 science labs, I should be able to research 2 fucking things at once.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, come to think of it, I think because I've got an insane amount of science points finally saved up because I was struggling for the longest time. Now I've got like a couple thousand, so much so that whenever I see a trade offer for science points, it's like, fuck yeah, take them. I've got so many science points. I think I can probably demolish. I know I have at least 2. I might have 3. But at this point, I can probably demolish him and make room for more disruptor base.
Dude, yeah.
But, yeah. Also, the torpedo room is the same thing. You can assign a hero to it, but all it says is improves room efficiency.
Right.
Okay, well,
not
what the
by
fuck
any
does that mean?
specific amount.
What does that
See,
mean?
that's
Does it
why
mean
I
less
don't put
energy,
Tuvok.
higher? Yeah.
I don't put Tuvok in my phaser control room. I put Chakotay in there. Because Tuvok is more valuable in other rooms, and it's only
science.
improves how the performance. So, like, all right, go ahead, Chakotay, have fun, play around.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Yeah. Like, the only rooms I've seen huge differences, the transporter room, the mess hall, of course.
Yep.
And like just one or two turns quicker in production rooms. Other than that, and I think a lot of it's not working right.
I think the workshop works pretty well. I think if you put a hero in the workshop, that actually adds a benefit. I usually put Carrie in there.
The
other engineer.
The Timu O'Brien, that guy.
Yeah, exactly. Timu O'Brien. Well, we need a redhead Irishman to be in, we need somebody from that region of the fucking world in the engine room. That's the only
What do you
answer.
think of, I like how every bridge officer has
a backup.
Has a stunt double.
Yeah. You idiot. These aren't them. You've captured their stunt doubles.
So I decided to keep Tuvix. I'm not doing that on my next run. He's not as good as...
Dude, another thing that they fucked up with this game. First of all, okay, the mission for Tuvix is pretty good. Utilizing Tuvix afterwards, okay, Neelix has 3 skills.
Yeah!
Tuvok has 3 skills. Tuvix has 2 skills.
Yeah, that's horseshit. I mean, they're boosted up, which is nice.
You should get their levels stacked together and all of their skills
give them
as
4
they
skills.
are.
Just make it a smaller
combined,
font.
Because that is exactly what happened to Tuvix.
Yeah,
he was a great security officer. He was a better chef than Neelix, right? Like, he was a better security officer. He found the programming error in, like, a couple hours because of a hunch versus the fucking weeks that it was supposed to make him take originally. He's better because of it. And you then, not having Tuvix means you don't have someone to balance Cass. Because Tuvok needs to balance Cass for the gift to not die. She will die giving the gift if Tuvok is not there.
That's why
if
I couldn't
Tuvok
keep
is there
Cass.
and you tell him to help her, then she has a good chance of surviving.
Okay.
You can get Cass all the way to Earth.
That's why I didn't get to keep Cass.
A few years later.
Okay. I was wondering,
Which is like, what a fucking downer for...
So on the same subject, you know who's fucking awesome, though, is I fucking love Klingon B'Elanna.
Klingon B'Elanna is peak. Yes.
She's fucking awesome. Even if she only has 2 skills, she's a badass.
If you get the Vidian surgical device, there's a 100% chance of curing human B'Elanna and making her back to normal B'Elanna, the hybrid B'Elanna we all know and love. And then also keeping Klingon B'Elanna alive.
That's what I got. Because in one of the strategy guides I read, it mentioned having human... Or wait, I saw somewhere that human B'Elanna, fully human B'Elanna was an option. And I was upset because I was like, oh crap, I used the Vidian thing.
Nah, human B'Elanna sucks.
Okay, good. Glad I made the right choice then.
You want to make human B'Elanna into normal B'Elanna.
I got half Klingon B'Elanna and full send Klingon B'Elanna.
Yeah, and she is a fucking badass. Awesome. And then you have the abilities in combat, and I love her ability in combat.
Yes.
It's just overcharging, stacked overcharging on your weapon systems.
Using that combined with Neelix's ability to reduce everyone's cooldown, oh dude, you just turn into a snowball of death. Which sucks. That's another thing that sucks about Tuvix, is he's got a combination of both Tuvok skills and Neelix's bridge skill. It does both at once, but they're both not as good. So you get it's they fucked up Tuvix. So
no, they really did.
Yeah.
But yeah, so are you ready for my build, or
Yeah. Okay, sorry. Yeah. Let me know your build.
No. I want to make sure we get all your build out. I'm not trying to step on your toes.
It's pretty. Yeah, I just
I'm not
got.
trying to step on your
I went for. Well, so let me
your
just
ghost sticks.
Let me just make sure. Okay. So that's pretty much all. Pretty much went through all the basics of it.
Do you use batteries?
I use the fuck out of batteries. I'm probably going to rethink that because it's not coming as useful as I thought because I was worried about running out of dilithium. So the engineering bay next to the deflector, all that room right there, all batteries, and upgraded, expensive as fuck. And so that way, I spend a lot of time in the blue. I'm thinking I maybe have overdone it because dilithium is really not that hard to get a hold of in this game. Or not dilithium.
What level are you playing at?
Deuterium. Just the medium, like not easy, not hard. That's what I'm playing at. So I got a fuckload of batteries. I got cargo is the most annoying part. I got one massive large cargo bay and 4 small ones. Making room for those is a pain. Full send with the disruptors. I had to get rid of the energy dissipator because it took up way too much room. And minimal Borg. Like after that mission where the Borg Civil War.
Do you have the waste recycling room?
Yes. Also, not as useful as not quite as useful as I thought it would be.
I would have the energy dissipator over the waste recycling room.
Yeah, I keep it now because I always run low off of I forget if it's duranium or tritanium, but the one that's shaped like a horta, like a rock.
Right.
I'm always running out of that shit. But now that my ship's almost pretty fully equipped, I can probably get rid of it. But yeah, so that. And after the Borg Civil War thing, I got rid of all my ex-Borg crews, so I don't need a regeneration alcove. So
well, you still have 7, right?
Still have 7, but she doesn't need an alcove. She is, which is weird.
She can just be homeless.
Yeah. But yeah, that's I think that's pretty much it. Also, next run through, because what I have to do a lot is even maxed out, even after I finally maxed out my warp core, a lot of times I still have to go in and shut rooms off to save power.
Yeah.
So what I think I'm going to do next run is there's a number of rooms that you don't have to have on all the time, like sick bay you don't need on all the time. God, there's a few others I turn off pretty frequently. But what I want to do is try to get all my rooms that I can switch off, put them all in the same deck, so that way you can just kill life support.
Kill the whole life support.
Kill the whole deck. So that way you can
when you
save
turn
power.
life support back on, the whole deck comes back on.
Yeah, that way I don't have to go individually and shut off each one. But Shuttle Bay is another one you turn off a lot. There's no reason to have that thing on all the time.
So a little trick, there are a lot of rooms where if you go up to a planet that has a certain mission, it says, oh, well, you can, if you have this room, you can use this option. You can then leave for now, go turn that room on,
I do that all
go
the time.
back, accomplish that option, then turn it off before the cycle changes and you don't have the energy drain from it.
It's like Janeway has
sense to me.
Yeah. It's like Janeway has a bunch of light switches on her command chair. She just flip.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, someone on deck 8 is like, "Hey, the lights went out."
Wait, hey, who turned out the lights? All right, so
let's hear your build.
For my combat style, I generally add at least a second shield generator. Sometimes my early game I'll add a third shield generator. Once you get metaphasic shielding, you only need 2 shield generators.
2 regular shield
generators.
Really? Okay.
At least in my experience, which I've played at the medium difficulty for the most part. And then because so I generally have 2 phaser banks, 2 disruptor banks. So, and then upgrade them as much as you possibly can, as often as you possibly can. Because I find that the double disruptors really go after shields, so you barely have to fucking deal with their shields. Then you don't have to rely on photon torpedoes because your phasers are doing a pretty good job.
Hull damage, yeah.
And then once I get Borg technology available, I'll try to make, I'll usually make a cutting room, or a cutting beam room as well. So that way, that does further hull damage, right?
Yeah.
So I have reinforced shield damage, reinforced hull damage, and then I will sometimes make the energy dissipator room. Honestly, I don't find it super useful. It takes so fucking long to charge unless you commit a lot of power to it.
Yeah.
And my process is already like, dude, you're fucking, like, I'm winning all of my combat anyway. Usually after Sector 3, I don't even need an ally. You know what I mean? So,
oh, yeah, yeah.
maybe for certain Kazon missions coming up, I'll do it to be safe. But, like, as long as you... The whole combat thing's a little weak on this game anyway, but, like, all right, fucking turn around. Go to the other side so that those shields can regenerate real quick. All right, and then with the metaphasic shield room, the recharge rate is really, really fast. So you don't need to have a shit ton of shields taking up space.
And I use that, what's her name? The blonde girl from the Equinox.
Yep.
She's got an instant shield or a shield bonus thing. It was either her or Dinara Pell, one of them. I used one of the two of them, maybe both.
Yeah.
But I definitely got Klingon B'Elanna in that first slot. Yeah. Oh, and Tom Paris's, I use the hell out of his bridge ability. I mean, if nothing else, it looks,
well, once I
cool.
read the description and it said that it gives you temporary invulnerability, I was like, well, that'd be stupid not to take advantage of. It's like you got the fucking Millennium Falcon here for a minute, you know? It's just,
yeah, I love the loop-de-loop.
Yeah.
If nothing else, it just looks cool.
Yeah, exactly. It adds some flair to the combat, but recently I haven't used too many batteries. I think I made like 3 single-room batteries because there's usually only a couple of times that through the run that you run out of energy and need to have a cycle or two with it on.
Oh.
Like with more energy on.
That reminds me, what I fucking hated was the Seska mission where you have to do that entire sector at half power.
Yeah.
Oh, get rid of that. That was annoying as fuck.
Yeah, it really was. And I mean, it was a decent adaptation to what they did in the show.
Yeah.
Because, you know, they did something, but like, yeah, that was definitely annoying. But let's see. I usually have 3 sick bays because I'll have the doctor, I have Kess, and then I have Dinara Pell. And Telok Ramor, the Romulan, can also serve as a sickbay hero. So I kind of bounce him around to where I'm needed, or where he's needed. And then, yeah, I'll have 1 large hydroponics bay, 1 small hydroponics bay. Once I get the large hydroponics bay, I convert the cargo bay that had food, because you can generally just keep it on your natural storage amount.
Having the limit of 1,000 is, you don't need it more than that unless you're planning on trading food, which, again, trade needs to be...
You don't want to do. It's just a waste of time.
Trade's not that great, yeah. God, the Aero Shuttle Bay takes up so much fucking room. It's like...
Well, I mean, I don't want what might be cool is an option to convert the Aero Shuttle Bay into an extra cargo bay, right? Mm-hmm. Where your ability to bring in trade is severely diminished, but you can store like 2 cargo units, like your deuterium and your your tritanium, or maybe like not deuterium, but the tritanium and the other fucking one,
duranium. I think.
Yeah, duranium.
Yeah.
In like equal measure, or some food or something like that, or just deuterium, right? I think that would be a fun, like a cool option. I generally try to upgrade like all your deflector dish, like all of those technology rooms as quickly as you can, because they do make a difference when you have like a level 2 deflector over a level 1 deflector, and a level 2 transporter over a level 1 like all that kind of shit. But yeah, I mean, really, I'm trying to think of some of the specifics. Like, I try to keep my build as efficient as possible. So I will make mostly, I would say, 60% emergency crew quarters, and then 40% regular crew quarters, so that
Where
there's a
where'd you
bit.
where do you put your crew quarters at? Because I always have
Typically, I put them in the bow saucer section on like between decks 3 and 5.
so like so wait so that
Um,
is that where the bridge is here and then are you talking about the opposite? Yeah, that's where I put mine
so
too.
the front of the ship,
Yeah, that just seemed appropriate.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, it really just it does bug me. Like, there's so much more space on that ship than what you're actually utilizing visually, and it's just like, dude, there should be so much more capability for room management.
Speaking of visibility, that's something I noticed. Am I remembering this correctly? Is it the same way on yours on the PC version? Like even if you build a crew quarters and you click on it and it says 0 and it's empty, you'll still have dudes in. Yeah, you'll see if you zoom in on it, you still have crewmen in there sitting on their bunks.
Oh,
Yeah,
if it's open, yeah.
yeah.
If it's on, I
It's like,
believe
come
so.
on, man, come on,
What
guys.
bugs me is when you build crew quarters that are like regular crew quarters,
Hmm.
and not everybody that can move in does move in.
Yeah.
So you have to shut down an emergency room so all of the people who can fit that other room will fit it, and then turn it back on so everybody left over has a place to sleep again.
Mhm.
It's just like, dude, every they should always fill up the highest quality rooms. It should be an automatic process of filling up the highest quality rooms.
Well,
Um,
what I discovered is that I didn't realize this, but that doesn't make any impact on morale, whether they're using the room or not. It's just an aesthetics thing. It's like
Having the room is the
yeah,
impact, right?
just the
Yeah,
existence of the emergency quarters gives you the
right.
penalty, even if there's no one sleeping in it. That's kind of ridiculous, but yeah, there's a lot of
Yeah,
things that could be improved, quite a bit.
yeah. And
Yeah.
so, we've been going on for quite some time about this game, but I do just want to say that, it really is a game that has a lot of potential. It being in Unreal Engine means that there's a lot of modifications that can go to this game. So, like, let's just finish the wish list here real quick. Because, yeah, I do a pretty good power balance, but I've written
Yeah.
all over the internet about what I do. So, you could probably go find it somewhere. But, all right, so we mentioned the Delta Flyer, more space in Voyager itself. There needs to be more energy output, right? Like,
Hmm.
500 is you can't run all of your rooms at 500.
Yeah.
Once it's all full up, you have to balance that shit. And like, there should be more tech to research to make power efficiency more efficient. A void mission where you come out of it with your replicator rations being 3 times as efficient because another, group shared technology that improved your replicator efficiency, that would be fucking awesome, right? Like, there's so many things that they did in the show that you could actually add as upgradable technologies to improve, because, like, yeah, it is a fun survival game, but let's make it a really great Star Trek game
Hmm.
where it's just such as accurate as the game can be within reason, you know what I mean? But like, there's just so much Star Trek logic that's left out of this game. And let's make a Deep Space Nine mod
Yes.
of it. I
I'm
want to see
here for it.
twice as many sectors at least, because 7 years doesn't feel like 12 sectors. Seven
Yeah.
years, I could see 24 sectors. Like, and there's already a mod that doubles the amount of systems in a sector, which
Wow.
I think is a great addition. Like, there should
Yeah.
be so many more. You could go explore, like, fuck around, find out. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah,
That's a bummer about playing on console. That's the price I have to pay. So no, I can't get any mods for it. But oh well. I was gonna ask. Speaking of, you mentioned the allies that you can hire. I don't know if this is just a PlayStation thing, but when you get to at the end game, the list gets so long, you can't select all the options. It gets covered up by the menu. It's fucking
I
lame.
don't think I've had that problem. I
Yeah,
also generally forget to add allies at
I
that
think
point
they're
in
too
the game.
expensive.
Well, it's
It,
not even that. Like once it like cuz I aim to get my combat over 400. And
oh,
once you do that, you don't have to fucking worry about having allies cuz you just plaster everybody you come across. And then Admiral Janeway gives you upgraded tech that makes going through the nebula pretty fucking simple. So,
the only time I ever actually used an ally, I think, was it was during the Seska missions where
yeah.
you're like halfway at half power, and you have to fight. I ended up fighting a big ass Kazon ship with 2 support ships, and I just needed the extra help, and
Yeah.
I used Dreadnought, that one, which
See,
is stupid. You shouldn't have to give
no,
Dreadnought resources to because it's a fucking it's a automated. It's a drone basically. It's a big ass drone. So
I mean, using it as an ally is cool, but
yeah.
I prefer the next step down on that mission where you get the technology from the dreadnought to enhance your. I think it's your shields or your weapons, or no, it's
Yeah.
your scanners. It's the
Is it?
scanners.
Oh,
Yeah, so you can
I
get
didn't.
an advance on scanners from the dreadnought, but yeah, the first 3
Mhm.
sectors are the best to have, and I usually just use the Valjean,
Yeah, yeah.
Chakotay's Maquis Raider as an ally is usually more than enough. Um, yeah, and like the Talaxian allies, meh. What I would love to see is an option so that the Equinox survive
Yes, that would be great.
and
Oh,
so Ransom survives. And first of all, it really pisses me off that there's not even a mention of Max. And Max is the first officer of the Equinox, who is Balana's ex-boyfriend, and like, there's a lot about the
I
Equinox
don't
episode
remember
that
that.
doesn't make sense. Like him using a formula that she fucking taught him and owning her with it. Like that doesn't make any fucking sense. Come on, guys. Like this is some of the things that you're like, oh, now I can understand why Enterprise sucked so much, because they were starting to smoke crack in season 5 of Voyager, and they got hooked
Yeah,
real bad right after. Anyway, so being able to have the Equinox
that would be
as
dope.
an ally, but like I think you should be able to make a fleet, right?
Was just thinking that
And
kind of
yes,
Battlestar
you
Galactica
need
style.
to secure resources to make sure that fleet stays powered for sure. But like that was another thing that in my opinion, if I were stuck on the ass end of the galaxy like Voyager was, I would say, okay, these shuttlecraft ain't shit. We need to make a Defiant class ship somehow. Like,
Yeah,
guys,
a little mini
we have the
Defiant.
plans. Let's gather the resources. Let's find a fucking safe harbor and build ourselves a fucking small warship that attaches right under the saucer. You know, not to block the deflector. It's got to be small enough. But like, or if they didn't have an aero shuttle, convert the aero shuttle bay into a fucking combat fighter bay, right? Something when it's just you on the ass end of space alone, you gotta fucking defend yourself. Anyway, that's just my thinking.
Yeah. Interesting thing. I started playing this game after I was hooked on this game I
Phonics.
was playing for a long time. This game called End Zone: A World Apart, which is a really unknown game. I got into it because it was for free on Amazon Luna, and I really got into it. Then I found out there was a console version, and it's weird because then Voyager Across the Unknown came out, and I was like, oh, I have to get this. And those 2 games share a lot of mechanics. Like the away
Yeah.
missions are a lot like the scouting missions you can do in End Zone. And by the way, those who haven't played End Zone, I fucking love this game. It's basically a hybrid between a city builder and almost kind of Age of Empires. It's like Civilization, except it's real time and post apocalyptic. It's like your dudes are coming out of a fallout shelter basically after a nuclear war, and you have to rebuild. That's so much fun, but the detail is insane. Like it's like Civ, to where you have a population, you have all your settlers, and it'll say up in the corner like you have a population of like 800 or whatever. Every single person is an actual person going around. Like there's a little sprite for that person running around. They have a name, they have an age, they have a limited lifespan. So, and depending on their health, and every resource you get, like you have to get different kinds of food. Water is hugely important, and you have
Yeah.
to make sure it's not contaminated. But every unit of every resource in that game is an actual physical square, unless you keep it in a
Mm.
building or something. So
Yeah.
it's detailed as fuck.
That's
Like
cool.
you can build rainwater collectors, and it actually has a weather system to where I thought it would just be either it's raining or it's not. No, it has rain clouds that fly over a certain area, so if your rainwater collector is not in that area, it won't get any rain.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's insanely detailed. And I don't know, I was kind of spoiled. I was kind of hoping for that in Voyager. I was hoping, it says you have 200 crew. They're just, no, that's just a number. I was hoping I would actually see the crew walking around, but anyway, I don't know.
Yep.
I don't know. It's like I said, still a fun game. It has a lot of room for improvement.
Dude,
So
what about like pages, right, or tabs where you can go further back into the ship depending on the tab
right?
that you're
Oh,
selecting, right? So you have, because there are sections, so you have section 1, section 2, section 3, section 4. On the saucer section there would be at least like maybe 10, as many as 10
yeah.
sections. So, at least on like deck 7
Also,
or 8.
I think the bridge officers, your heroes, I don't think they take up resources at all. They're just there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I
because when
kind of
you
get that, but like they should add on to your
uh,
crew count.
yeah, because you always have their stunt doubles just in case they. Which, by the way, okay, I might be out of line for saying this, but 7 of 9 stunt double, 9 of 9. Yeah, damn. I was like, whoa, damn, she's got some
You're
cake.
into the
Woo!
bald chicks, huh?
Yeah, I mean, her build is just like, holy shit, dude. Yeah, they didn't just copy and paste Seven's
No,
character model. No, they gave her some fucking cake.
they went for perfection, dude. They went for perfection.
Yeah. So 9 of 9, that was interesting. I was like,
Yeah,
why?
right.
I was like, why do we have
Um,
another? Oh, and then when you rescued Neelix, he comes with another Talaxian named Zillion or
right.
something weird.
Well, no, shortly after you finish the caretaker mission,
Well,
you
yeah,
rescue a bunch of Talaxians
yeah. Well,
and some other
yeah.
refugees.
That's when you actually get Neelix. He becomes an actual
Right.
crew
Yep.
member. Because
Yep.
before that point, it's funny when I first started the game, you get that unskippable event where you get Neelix. And I like reload it. I'm like, no, no. Is there any way to skip this? I don't fucking want Neelix. I'm like, God damn it! You have to have Neelix.
Yeah,
Shit.
you gotta have Neelix.
Yeah. Which is
Listen,
funny. I
I
just
know
watched the.
Neelix can be a little annoying, at times, but I have to say, he has some of the most emotional story arcs in
Does
the entire
he
series.
does? Yeah, and I really like that actor. Like I just
Yeah,
saw
Ethan
a
Phillips is
movie.
a phenomenal actor.
Yeah, I just saw The Island the other day, and I forgot he was in that. He's a great
Yep.
actor. The character in Neelix I just find irritating as fuck. But oh well.
I mean, I
But
I get why people would say that, but like ultimately, I think really like the Metreon Cascade episode was great.
that was
There's a
really good.
couple of
Yeah.
moments where Neelix really shines in the early seasons, but there's few and far between. After he and Kess break up, and after Kess leaves, Neelix gets much better, and
Yeah.
it's because it's like you're not dating a 2-year-old, bro. Like this is
Yeah,
a
that's
weird
really creepy.
situation.
Yeah, but then he also becomes the caretaker for that one little girl.
Naomi
Like,
Wildman.
yeah, that was a little creepy. I was like,
That
why
wasn't
is he
creepy.
spending?
He was her godfather.
It was just weird because he was dating an 8-year-old, and now all of a sudden he's spending a lot
No,
of
no,
time
he
with
was dating
Naomi.
a 2-year-old, but they only
Oh
lived
yeah,
9 years. So it's
yeah. So yeah,
their
I was
maturity arc is different. I'm not excusing it, but it's like,
yeah,
oh, okay, you guys are asking a lot of that. Having him be a godfather to a actual child that was born on the ship that he knew since she was, born. As
I
you
didn't
know,
like it.
that makes sense, and
I
he
didn't
does
like it.
get very close to Ensign
Yeah.
Wildman, Naomi's mother. I can't remember her name, but
Yeah, it was just weird for me. But anyway, all that aside,
and she didn't even have a father on board. Like he's back on Earth.
yeah,
I was actually thinking about that the other day. Like they get home, that would have been a really cool after
but yeah,
story of like,
they never
dude,
followed up on
Naomi
that
gets to
either.
meet her fucking dad.
Hmm. Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway,
it is a
so
great game. If you are at all a Star Trek Voyager fan, you should
absolutely,
absolutely buy it and play it. Go on Nexus to find if you're a PC player. If you're not a PC player, you're SOL. Although I will say Xbox, the newer Xbox and the PS5, I believe, do have a decent amount of modding capability, but I think it might be game specific, so I don't really know what's going on there. But and then hey, I mean Steam Deck users and
I need to get hold of the Steam Deck.
Steam users,
Yeah.
you can definitely do this modding and stuff. But the Steam Deck is cool. Hey, and again, guys, if there's any kind of video games that you're trying to buy, you should buy them sooner than later because this price hike is not changing for a while. I think some more warehouses burning down may make some kind of effect, but I can't endorse any of that such behavior. That was a crazy event that did happen recently, though, was the in the Amazon warehouse fire that you pay us enough to live. That's all you had to do. That was oof. Anyway, I don't want to say too much about
Yeah.
it, but it's, these
Yeah.
kinds of things are not making things cheaper right now. So if something is still within your price range, or you
Yeah.
can put it on Affirm or Klarna, which is what I did with the Switch too.
What? A firm what?
So Affirm and Klarna, and there's some other ones out there where it's not a credit card. You pay a specific
Oh, a
amount
firm.
per
Yeah,
month.
yeah. I
Yeah.
always get prompted to open one of those whenever I buy something on.
I've found it
yeah.
valuable, but it's don't get too addicted to buying
Yeah, I
things
was gonna
again,
say my
right?
credit's kind of shit. I don't want to press that button and make it
It
worse.
actually
so-
doesn't affect your credit very much.
What? Don't tell me that. God,
You
I'm
might
gonna
need to
start-
look into it in more detail. I don't know exactly how. I'm sure there is some effect on your credit, and I don't know what that. But it's not a credit card, right? So your credit gives them an idea of how much they're willing to give you to spend. Is basically, and like other
By
credit cards, but
it's funny. Well, I'll tell you about it after the show. But that just reminds me of something funny. But yeah, no, that I think we're at a good wrapping up point. We're done 90 minutes mostly talking about the game. I'd say this was about
see in this game,
Yeah,
and what your biggest, what really grinds your gears about it, because I really think we need to push the developers, and honestly, I'm kind of just leaning on the modding community to come in and make this game everything that it could be. So let's give it the attention it deserves. So the modding community comes in. There's a good start on Nexus and probably some other sites, but it's got to go a lot further, and I won't be satisfied until I see at least another dozen rooms fitting into Voyager's space. All right,
and
guys?
the Delta Flyer. Come on, where's the fucking
Delta Flyer,
Yeah.
and definitely a lot of other things.
My next run through,
Anyway,
I'm not researching. Yeah, again, I think this might just be a console thing, but in my next playthrough, I am not researching the upgraded Talaxian ally because that just makes your
Waste
list of
of
allies.
money.
Yeah,
Waste
it's a
of
waste,
resources.
and it makes your list longer, so you actually can't select all the
Right,
options.
each of those upgrades is another ally.
Which it made it impossible for me to select the Borg sphere when I unlocked that. Dude, I want a fucking sphere following me around everywhere. That's badass.
Right?
Anyway, but yeah,
gang.
let's keep this discussion going in the comments because I could talk about this game all day. So
Yeah, honestly, we'll probably do another one once there's like a year's gone by. We'll be, hey, where are we at, modding community? So you're on a timer now. Anyway, DMTVictor, thank you so much for joining us on this marvelous conversation about Star Trek Across the Unknown and so many other things going on in the world today. I am Tiger Mike. You are watching on Tiger Dork Ramblings, most likely, or possibly one of the other outlets of the Tiger Funk Productions products. So until next time, we will see you again. No, that was terrible. So until next time, be good to each other. And have a great today, tomorrow, and this evening. What the fuck does Truman say? It's have a good, if I don't see you.
Oh, good night, good evening, good morning, and whatever.
It's good morning, and if I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. All right. So thanks for watching, gang. And if we don't see you, have a good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Adios. There.
Adios.
There's a little bit of editing I'm going to have to do in between that. But.
I say keep it in, but just do like